Have you wanted to do more real estate deals, or maybe your first one, and you're wondering if you should be more active as a real estate investor or more passive? Or maybe you're considering getting out of single family and getting into multifamily, and you're wondering what it would look like to be a passive investor. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the differences between active and passive investing and which one is the right choice for you. First off, we're going to talk about active investing. What does it mean to be an active investor? It just means that you are being more involved in the actual property. Passive investing, you basically invest, you don't really do anything after that point. It's basically another group is actually doing all of it. Now, if you're an active investor, you can be as active as you're the one who's actually coming in, and renovating the property, you're the construction person, you're painting, you're doing all this work. And that is one way to be active. Another way to be active is maybe you have some homes or something in another area, or you're buying things in another place. You have a property manager, but you're still the one that they're coming to and say, hey, what do we do in this situation? What do we do here? That is actually also active investing. So it is not a passive investment to own a portfolio or a number of single family rental houses in another area or another state or even in your own area. A lot of people think that, oh, that's passive investing. It's not passive investing. And the reason why is that, and I'm going to get into in a second here, is that it's very difficult to scale that. Because if you have one home or 5 homes or 10 homes, you get to a certain point where you're like, I've got my job, or I've got other things I'm doing. It's just too much to try to manage as well, even if you have a property manager. And those of you that have had this, you can relate with this, that you get to some level where you're like, I just really can't do this anymore. And so when it comes to active investing, there are different ranges of it. There are some advantages to it, I will say. Some of the advantages of doing active investing is that if you don't have a lot of money and yet you have time, you can leverage your time and you can come into a property in an area, and you can do the work yourself, and you can basically go about it that way, which is actually really beneficial if you don't have the money but you have the time. Another one is that you basically have much more control over the asset than you would if you were passively investing. I have some friends that would I would never trust somebody else to do my investments. I would never trust someone else to run a property for me. So some people, for that reason, it is beneficial for them. Another thing really is it allows people to gain some experience working with real estate. Some people like being able to be involved to kind of know how the process works. For example, when I was younger, I used to work on my own car. I don't anymore because when I would work on it, I would actually cause more damage than what actually was needed. I have to pay more money to have them repair it. But now I will say that I do know when someone's trying to pull something over, pull wool over my eyes when I'm at the auto repair shop. So there are some disadvantages of being more active in your investing. One of the disadvantages is that we can often undervalue our time, particularly if we are a highly paid professional. Now, if you're somebody who does very well financially, it doesn't make sense for you to be going out and fixing toilets on a property, or sometimes even be getting all these calls about your investments that are in another state. So that's the challenge. Another one is that you only have so much time, so it's difficult to scale. And then also another disadvantage is that having that much control, it doesn't allow you to really unplug from the investment. So now let's talk about my favorite part of all this is passive investing. I absolutely love passive investing. And for the reason is that you can grow your wealth as a professional and it doesn't take up more of your time. So you can basically be invested in many deals. You do some work on the front end. You do look at investing and seeing what that looks like on the front end. And then when you actually invest, it actually allows you to scale. So one of the advantages is that it truly is scalable. It doesn't take up more of your time as you do more. You basically trust this other team to operate the asset for you, which is really amazing. And then one of the advantages, particularly of multifamily syndication, is that you get some tax write-offs or the ability to write off or defer some or all of the money that you're making through the deal, which is really unique when it comes to other types of investments, which I think is just absolutely amazing. So that's something to really look into as well. So there are some disadvantages as well of investing passively. Like I mentioned, some people don't like not being able to have control. So the idea of having control in a deal is really important. And if you're passive, you're not the one they're asking, the property manager's asking, what do we do in this situation? And what does that actually look like? So that is a disadvantage. Another one is that you do need to have some resources to get started. Typically, a minimum investment is $50,000 to $100,000, and a lot of people don't have that kind of money. But if you're a professional that does have those type of resources, that it may be an option for you. So as we kind of wrap this up, for you, it comes down to, do you have more time than you have money, or do you have more money than you have time? I think that's really the big thing that it distills to, because if you're a high-paid professional, you probably should not be swinging a hammer and using a paintbrush or buying single-family properties all over the place because it's going to be a lot of work. And if it's not a lot of work now, it will be in the future. You're going to have headaches that are going to come up versus having a team of people that kind of do that for you. But if you're somebody who you're getting started, or maybe you're younger and you don't have those resources to be able to do it, being more active in real estate, whether it's single family or multifamily, may be a really great choice for you. So it comes down to the issue of control. If somebody wants to have a really high level of control, then and just can't see it any other way, then maybe active investing is right for you. So appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I love talking about this stuff. If you have any thoughts or comments, I would love to see about it down at the bottom there. Please hit the subscribe or like button below. If you're interested in hearing about our deals that we're doing, we have our investment club, which is at bronsonequity.com/join. You can check us out there. We also have this free report that talks about investing during and after a pandemic. So thanks so much again for taking the time, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.